Welcome to Eggheads, the show where a team of 5 quiz challengers pit their wits against possibly the greatest quiz team in Britain. They are the Eggheads. If you'd like to work on a question from the Eggheads while you watch at home, I gather you've got one, Steve.
In the days before continental drift, the River Thames was a tributary of which major river?
Let's find out the answer from Steve at the end of the show. Taking on our quiz champions today are the Maltmen from Perth. Now, this team met through working in the whiskey industry, and Fraser and Steve quizzed together in the Perth Quiz League. Let's meet them.
Hi, I'm Jonathan, and I'm a retired IT manager.
Hi, I'm Stephen, and I am an application architect.
Hi, I'm Grant. I'm a retired IT specialist.
Hi, I'm Fraser, and I'm a retired whiskey executive.
Hi, I'm Steve, and I'm a team leader.
So, Jonathan and team, hello.
Hello.
And is it, first of all, whiskey that brings you together, Jonathan? Is that right?
It is, yes. We've all worked together for 25, 30 years in the whiskey industry.
So different bits of the industry, or?
No, pretty much for the same company. We all work together as colleagues.
And there's some quizzing pedigree here as well, is that
Yes,
right?
we all enjoy quizzing, but the main two who've been involved in it is Steve and Fraser.
Who are up the far end.
Yeah.
Well, we wish you well, challengers. Good luck,
you.
Jonathan and team. Every day there is £1,000 worth of cash up for grabs. If the challengers don't win, then we just roll the prize money over. And Maltmen, I can tell you that the Eggheads have won the last 14 on the trot. They're on a roll. You've got to stop them. £15,000 if you do. Why don't we start?
Excellent.
The first head-to-head battle is on the subject of arts and books. So one of you, please, against either Beth, Steve, Pat, Chris or Barry.
I think we agreed it would probably be me.
I think so.
I'm sorry, Jonathan. I think
You're
you're right.
first.
I think that's right. Yeah.
So I think that's going to be me, Jeremy.
OK, Jonathan, taking on which Eggheads? Any one of them.
I think Beth. Beth,
Very
please.
good. OK, Jonathan from the Maltmen taking on Beth in the very first round from the Eggheads with £15,000, the jackpot. To ensure there's no conferring, would you please now take your positions in our legendary question room? Well, you've got a very interesting story, Jonathan. You're a table tennis referee, among other things.
Yes, I am, Jeremy. I'm principally an umpire, but I am also a referee. The roles are slightly different, but most of my experience has been umpiring.
Meaning you sit at where the net is and score, is that right?
Yeah, you sit and decide the outcome of each rally, as whether it's a point to somebody or whether it's a let. So that's the umpire's job. It basically controls the match.
OK, arts and books, Jonathan. Do you want to go first or second against Beth?
I think I'll go first, Jeremy.
Good luck. Here we go. The 1871 painting of Anna Whistler is popularly known by what title? Whistler's wife, Whistler's nurse, or Whistler's mother?
Yeah, I don't think it's Whistler's wife, and definitely not his nurse. I think I'll have to go for Whistler's mother.
It is Whistler's mother, you're right. OK, here's your question, Beth. Quasimodo is the protagonist of a book by which writer? Victor Hugo, Leo Tolstoy, or Rudyard Kipling?
I think Quasimodo is the Hunchback of Notre Dame by Victor Hugo.
Victor Hugo is correct. One each. And back we go to Jonathan. Which Shakespeare character is married to Emilia? Toby Belch, Mercutio, or Iago?
Now, I'm not sure about this one. I think I'm going to go with Mercutio.
Mercutio is your answer. Challengers, do you know?
I don't.
No idea. I didn't think Iago had a wife. I'd probably go for Toby Bell.
Iago is the answer. He doesn't behave as if he's under the influence of anyone, Iago, but his wife was Emilia. Beth, your question to take the lead. The first Poldark novel by Winston Graham was published in which decade of the 20th century? Beth, is it 1920s, 40s, or 60s?
Well, there was a famous TV adaptation in the 70s, I think, before it was brought back again more recently. Not entirely sure. I think I'll go with the 1940s, Jeremy.
Well done. 1940s is right. So Beth is in the lead. And Jonathan, you've got to get this one right to stay in. In Roald Dahl's book, Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, where does Charlie's father work? Dog's Home, Toothpaste Factory, or Brickyard?
I'm trying to think back to the film, see when the references were. I've got a feeling it might have been a toothpaste factory. So I'm going to say that, Jeremy.
Do you like that, Beth?
I do. He screwed the tops on the toothpaste tubes.
Indeed, that is it. He screwed the tops on the toothpaste tubes in a toothpaste factory. So, Beth, you can take the round with this. Self-Portrait with Skeleton Arm is an 1895 lithograph by which artist? Cézanne, Munch, or Chagall?
Self-portrait with skeleton arm. Not a picture I'm familiar with. I don't think it's Cézanne. Munch or Chagall. Chagall has very, not flamboyant, but rather description, titles of his paintings. Kind of stabbing in the dark at this one. But from what I know about Chagall's picture titles, I'll go with Chagall.
Yeah, flying horses and all that with Chagall,
Yeah.
isn't it? The answer is Munch.
Oh,
He of the Scream.
he of the Scream, yeah.
So after 3 questions, the scores are level and we go to sudden death, and it gets a little bit harder, Jonathan. I don't give you alternative answers. Here we go. Which novel by Peter Benchley starts with the line, "The great fish moved silently through the night water"?
Well, funny enough, we were talking about this on the way down in the car. And I'm pretty sure Peter Benchley is very famous for writing Jaws. So Jaws is my answer.
Jaws is correct, yeah. An amazing first scene in that book. Beth, the first autobiography by Katie Price was published in 2004 under the title Being Who?
Jordan.
Jordan's right. Sudden death. Back to you, Jonathan. A 16th century painting by Titian displayed in the National Gallery and listed on their website as one of the 30 must-see paintings is called Bacchus and Who?
I'm not too familiar with this one. I think Bacchus was the god of wine or revelry or something of this nature. For some reason the name is coming into my mind, but I don't think I'm going to get anything better. So I'm going to say Ariadne.
You're right. Well done. Great quizzing. Bacchus and Ariadne. Just grabbed from the furthest corner, was it?
Absolutely. I had no reason for thinking it was correct, but it just came from
Fantastic.
somewhere.
I love the way the brain works. That's brilliant. So, to stay in, Beth, on the 2nd of December 2016, the 31st anniversary of his death, a memorial stone for which British poet was unveiled at Poets' Corner in Westminster Abbey?
Ted Hughes.
Philip Larkin
Oh.
is the answer, Beth. You've been knocked out. Well done, Jonathan. Through on sudden death. First round to our challengers. Please return to us and we'll play round 2. So as it stands, the Maltmen have lost no brains from the final round. Well played, Jonathan. The Eggheads have lost 1, and we play on with geography. Who would like this?
That's Fraser, is it?
Yeah.
Do we all agree with that?
Yeah, if it goes to sport.
Yep, that's going to be Fraser.
Fraser. Playing which Egghead is the question. Can't be Beth.
Not Barry.
Eeny, meeny, miny, mo.
Chris.
I think of Chris.
I don't know, Pat. I'd probably take Steve. Probably Steve. Is he any good, John?
Who do
I would
Bri
think
Berry
Chris or
on?
Steve. I mean, it's your choice, but I would think Chris or Steve, yeah.
Chris or Steve? I'll take Steve.
Very good. So Fraser from the Maltmen taking on our Steve. To ensure there's no conferring, please take your positions. Okay, Fraser, do you have any great passion?
Well, primarily collecting things or hoarding things, depending on how you look at it. Principally, I've got a huge collection of magazines, football, boxing, travel magazines, etc.
And you've got, I suppose, as a magazine collector, you're looking for rarities, are you?
Yes, nowadays, yes, because I've got all the more recent ones. But I've got a double garage, which is full. There's no room for a car. But it's all catalogued, and it's quite nice to look back. I collect a boxing magazine, American Boxing Magazine, which goes back to the 1920s.
Oh, wow.
And some rather old gentlemen and ladies sometimes say, well, who was champion lightweight in 1935? I've got the magazine. I can go back and have a look at it. So
I now understand why you're a quizzer. That's a great resource. Okay, good luck, Fraser. Up against Steve on geography. Would you like to go first or second?
I think I'll go first, Jeremy.
And here's your first question. Which of these deserts is in Australia? Fraser, is it Gobi, Kalahari, or Gibson?
Well, I know this one. It is not the Gobi, it's not the Kalahari, it's definitely the Gibson.
It is the Gibson Desert. Well done. Do you know where the Gobi is?
Mongolia?
Is it right? And Kalahari, is that Africa? Yeah.
Yeah.
Gibson is right. Steve, to you. What goes with Argyll to make the name of a Scottish council area? Balamory, Bute, or Braemar?
That's Butte, Jeremy.
Argyll and Bute, you're right. Fraser, in which country is the main airport named after Mother Teresa? Albania, Belize, or Cambodia?
Well, again, I've been there, been at that airport, and it is Tirana in Albania.
Very good. So that's the main, Tirana is the capital, isn't it? So Albania is quite right, yeah. Didn't know that? Okay, Steve, to catch up. Which of these is another name for the Isle of Man? Holy Island, Ellen Vannin, or Withver?
It's Ellen Vannin, Jeremy.
Ellen Vannin is correct. Well done. Two good quizzes here, I can tell. Third question to you, Fraser. In 2011, what became the capital of the country of South Sudan? Yambio, Juba, or Rumbek?
Haven't been to this place, not yet. I'll get there one day. It's Juba.
It is Juba. You're right. Okay. Your third question to stay in. Steve, the US state of South Carolina shares borders with North Carolina and which other state? Louisiana, Florida, or Georgia?
I think that's Georgia, Jeremy.
You're right. You're whipping through these questions. Georgia is correct. So 3-3 after 3 questions. We go to sudden death. Gets a bit harder, Fraser. I don't give you options. Here we go. What is the third largest ocean in the world?
Third largest. Well, I think the biggest one is the Pacific. Second biggest, I think, it's the Antarctic, I think, and then the third biggest. Is it the Indian or the Pacific or the Atlantic? I think it has to be the Atlantic. I'll have to go guess at that.
Barry, tell us.
It's the Indian, I'm afraid.
It's the Indian because the first is the Pacific and the second is the Atlantic. And the third is the Indian, and the Antarctic Ocean,
Yes,
which
I
was
think
mentioned, is up in the top 10, but
Well, there's not 10 oceans, but the Antarctic will be the next one, I think.
okay. Steve, for the round. In which mountain range is the Sagarmatha National Park?
I think that must be the Himalayas, Jeremy.
Himalayas is right. You've taken the round. You're in the final. There we go. Leveled it up. Getting exciting, this contest. Come back to us, both of you. We'll see what round 3 holds. Right. The Maltmen have lost a brain now from the final round. Lost Fraser. The Eggheads have lost one as well. And the next subject is music. Who wants music?
Is it between you guys?
Between
Between
me and
Steve
Steve.
and
It's just
Steve.
Yeah.
Stephen and Steve?
Just shout Steve.
I was happy to defer, but I can do it. It's up to you.
He's
It's up to you.
probably a music guy, so he's a food and drum.
I can do it. Don't-
Okay.
You want
Yeah.
it? Me?
Steve, okay, brilliant. Against which Egghead? And you've got to choose one of the 3 mighty men on the right there. Pat, Chris, or Barry?
Do you think Chris?
Probably if it's pop music, yeah, he's probably pretty good on all this stuff.
You think Chris?
Chris, please.
Okay, so Steve from the Maltmen is going in against Chris from the Eggheads. And just to ensure there's no conferring, please take your positions. So music, Steve, do you want to go first or second?
I'd like to go first, please, Jeremy.
I know you're a drummer in a band. I hope you can beat Chris. The song Always Look on the Bright Side of Life reached number 3 in the UK charts in 1991. For which comedy team? Was it the Goodies, the Wombles, or Monty Python?
Oh, I know this one. It's definitely not the Goodies or the Wombles. It's Monty Python.
Monty Python is quite right. Well done. Handel's Messiah, Chris, was composed in which century? 16th, 17th, or 18th?
First performed in 16 something? No, Handel. 18th.
18th is right. Well done. Were you saying first performed in?
Dublin.
Yeah, well, I thought you were going to give us a date.
No.
Oh, I see. That's why you said first performed in.
I was just rumbling. I was just rambling.
Okay. Steve, which of these is not a string on a standard cello? C, D, or E?
Well, I would imagine C must be, and I think there is an E string. I will go for D. Down the middle, D for David.
D for David is your answer. Let's see. Challenges, do you know?
I think it's C.
You think that C is not a string? Chris Hughes?
No idea, Jeremy.
No, this is hard. We're all struggling. The answer is E. E is not a string on a cello. Okay, Chris, you can take the lead with this. How is the musician born Marvin Lee Aday better known? Is it Meatloaf, Alice Cooper, or Captain Sensible?
He is the one and only Meatloaf.
You're right, it is Meatloaf's first name. So, Steve, you must get this right. In the musical Hairspray, which character leads the song Good Morning, Baltimore? Is it Velma Von Tussle, Corny Collins, or Tracy Turnblad?
Total guess. Velma Von Tussle.
Tracy Turnblad is the name. The other two are actually in Hairspray as well. So Velma and Corny and Tracy are all in Hairspray. So Chris, well done. You've taken the round and you've beaten Steve. You're in the final. And if you come back and rejoin your teams, we have one more round to play before that final. As it stands, the Maltmen have lost 2 from the final. The Eggheads have just lost the 1 so far. And we play on with film and TV. Now, is that going to be Stephen or Grant?
How do you feel? I'm better. I'm okay-ish. Yeah. Average.
What do we think then?
I think you, to be honest, I don't
Who's better than
know
Jeremy?
a lot of
You okay
TV.
with it, Graham? Looks like it's
All right, Grant, very brave. Taking on Pat or Barry?
I don't know. Baz likes whiskey. I don't know. Go for that.
We think it's Barry.
Grant from the Maltmen versus Barry from the Eggheads. Not a whiskey man yourself, I don't think.
Totally a whiskey man.
Are you? Well, that's handy. To ensure there's no conferring, please, for the last time, go to our question room. OK, Grant, film and TV, would you like to go first or second?
I'd like to go first, please, Jeremy.
Against Barry, here we go. In the Star Wars films, which character was played by Alec Guinness? Obi-Wan Kenobi, Han Solo, or Luke Skywalker?
Obi-Wan Kenobi.
No messing around. Straight there. Obi-Wan Kenobi. Okay. Confident start. Barry's looking worried. Which of these musical films was released first? Singing in the Rain, My Fair Lady, or Cabaret, Barry?
Singing in the Rain.
Singing in the Rain. I see. You're going to be really succinct in this round, are you? Okay. Grant, which Johnny was a long-term presenter of the TV series Animal Magic, which ran for over 20 years? Was it Johnny Ball, Johnny Morris, or Johnny Vaughan?
I think I'll go for Johnny Morris.
Johnny Morris is right. Barry, what is the title of the Jurassic Park film released in 2018? Was it Jurassic World, Danger World, Jurassic World, Crucial Agenda, or Jurassic World, Fallen Kingdom?
Oh, this one passed me by, I'm afraid, so I shall go for Jurassic World, Danger World.
Do we know, Eggheads?
Fallen Kingdom.
Fallen Kingdom, Barry. the kingdom of Simmons has fallen. Grant, if you get this right, you're in the final. Who wrote the 2018 TV drama The Split, starring Nicola Walker? Abby Morgan, Heidi Thomas, or Sally Wainwright?
I'm not sure, but I think it's Sally Wainwright.
Abby Morgan is the answer. Barry has a way back in. Is that the fatal trip? Let's see. Barry, which character in Coronation Street has been played by Adam Rickett and Ben Price? Kevin Webster, Nick Tilsley, or Steve McDonald?
Well, Adam Rickett rings a big bell with me for Nick Tilsley.
Nick Tilsley's right. So Barry's forced his way back in. Level after 3 questions. It goes to sudden death again, Grant. Here's your question. In which 1957 film does Audrey Hepburn play a character called Joe Stockton opposite Fred Astaire as Dick Avery?
Dick Tracy?
funny face is the answer. Barry, to you for the round. Who played Garth Algar, Wayne's friend, in the 1992 film Wayne's World?
I've got the word Mike coming into my head, but I can't think of anything else. No, it won't come. I'll have to pass.
Well, Mike Myers played Wayne. No, but he played Wayne.
That's why I had Mike in my head.
Wayne's friend is played by Dana Carvey. Grant, in 2017, which comedian became the host of the TV quiz show The Boss and was paired with Kevin Clifton for Strictly Come Dancing?
It's so difficult when you're asked a direct question. I don't have a memory jogger. I'll have to pass.
Passing. Okay, Barry, do you know?
You know, I'm ashamed to admit this. This is, I can't recall.
Okay, Susan Calman.
Of course.
Barry, your question for the round. Eric Cartman was a central character in which animated US TV series first shown in 1997?
South Park.
South Park is right. You've taken the round. Grant, sorry, knocked out by Barry. Barry will be in the final. Come back to us and we will play that final round for £15,000. And this is what we have been playing towards. It is the final round. As always, it's general knowledge. But those of you who lost your head-to-heads won't be allowed to take part in this round, I'm afraid. So that's Grant, Fraser and Steve from the Maltmen and also Beth from the Eggheads. Would you please now leave the studio? Jonathan and Stephen, you're playing to win the Maltmen £15,000. Cracking jackpot today. Steve, Pat, Chris, Barry, you're here to defend the money and your reputations. As usual, I will ask each team 3 questions in turn. This time, they're all general knowledge. You can confer, gentlemen. So, Maltmen, the question is, can your 2 brains beat the Eggheads 4? It's as simple as that. And would you like to go first or second?
I think we're going to go first, please, Jeremy.
OK, Stephen and Jonathan, been great seeing you play so far. Let's see if you can just finish them off. It can be done, believe me. Here's your question. What is the first animal mentioned in the nursery rhyme that starts, hey diddle diddle? Is it cow, dog, or cat?
It's the cat.
Very handy answer. Cat is right. It's terrible to go wrong on the first one, and you haven't. Well done. Eggheads, what does the letter G stand for in GDPR, the EU-wide ruling introduced in 2018 relating to the storage and collection of personal information? Gross, guarding, or general?
General. Yeah. General Data Protection Regulation.
Mm-hmm. Okay, yeah, happy with that. Yeah. Okay. I think that's general.
General is right. Okay, 1 each. Challenges, £15,000 we're playing for. Here's your question. Netta won the 2018 Eurovision Song Contest for which country? Netta is N-E-T-T-A. Israel, Sweden, or Croatia?
Ooh. I didn't see this.
Okay. I don't think it was Sweden. I don't know why.
My first instinct was Israel.
Mine too.
But I'm not sure if they were actually in Israel. So
Oh, they were, yeah.
did
They're
the
always
home
in,
country?
yeah. Israel is in, yeah.
Sure.
Did they win it? Sweden? Oh, Sweden rings a bell now. Got a slightly stronger feeling about Sweden coming from
Shall we go
somewhere.
for Sweden?
I've got a feeling, yeah.
Yeah. We're not sure, but we're going to go for Sweden.
Both had a bit of a hunch there. One was for Israel, one was for Sweden. This is meat and drink to quizzes. What is it?
She was Israeli.
Israel. Israel was Netta. So, Eggheads, you can take the lead. In May 2018, which TV presenter terminated a live interview after the Defence Secretary Gavin Williamson repeatedly dodged a question? Richard Madeley, Charlie State, or Matt Baker?
Richard Madeley.
Madeley.
Yeah.
I think this was the first time they reckoned that a minister of that rank had an interview terminated in that way, and it was Richard Madeley.
Yep, one of the all-time great TV moments. Richard Madeley's right. Absolutely brilliant moment. All right, so, got to get this right, guys, to stay in. What name is given to the type of bat that in 1999 was distinguished from the common pipistrelle on the basis of the different frequency echolocation calls? Okay, is it the bass pipistrelle, the tenor pipistrelle, or the soprano pipistrelle?
It's one of those three.
It certainly is. It's a complete shot in the dark, if that's not a pun.
I'm reluctant to make a guess based on the last one.
Should we go down the middle for tenor? Then again, it doesn't sound right. Tenor
Seems
doesn't
the
sound
least
right.
likely
It does.
somehow.
It does.
I'm for bass or soprano. Well, it's either sending out signals deeper or sending
Yes.
them out more
Yeah.
higher in frequency.
We'll go bass. You think? Oh, we're going to go for bass pipistrelle.
Bass pipistrelle is your answer. Eggheads, do you know?
No,
You
no,
don't?
No, be guessing.
Where would your guesswork take you?
I'd go soprano.
Would
for no
you?
good reason.
I'd have gone bass.
You would have
Other
gone
two
bass.
Just seem like red herrings. Bass, so let's chuck tenor and soprano in, but I don't know.
What do you think, Beth? Do you know?
Well, I don't think there is a silly name there, but it depends on the frequency that the common pipistrelle emits. If it's higher, if the new one is higher, then
Yeah,
it'll be
sure.
soprano. If it's lower, then it'll be bass. I
Sure.
don't think it'll be tenor. Too middly.
The correct answer is soprano pipistrelle. Challengers, I'm afraid we have to say congratulations, Eggheads. You have won. Well, at least it's unlikely you're going to see soprano pipistrelles in daily life from now on, reminding
true.
you of the,
Probably
the
wouldn't
question.
recognise them if we
It's
saw
also,
them.
it's a bit heartening when the Eggheads were at 6s and 7s. I don't know what your final answer would have been. Chris, you were very quiet there. Do you think you
Well, I
would
was
have...
thinking soprano.
Oh, were you?
Yeah.
Maltmen, thanks so much for coming in and telling us about the whiskey and having a great quiz. I'm afraid the Eggheads have just done their thing. It's one of those moments I can't imagine you losing, Eggheads. So it does mean the challengers don't win the £15,000. So we roll the money over to our next show and we wonder who will ever beat you, Eggheads. Now, Steve, at the very start, you had a question.
I did, Jeremy. The question was, in the days before continental drift, the River Thames was a tributary of which other major river?
So it's not the English Channel or anything like that. So I'm going to say it was a tributary of the Seine.
It's the Rhine.
The Rhine. Thank you, Steve. Thank you, challengers. Thanks for coming in, guys. Join us next time to see if a new team of challengers have the brains to defeat the Eggheads. We're getting close to 20 grand, aren't we? There'll be £16,000 to win in our next programme. Until then, goodbye.